Hello everyone, welcome to Learning Digital class. My name is Steven. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate those that already subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm so grateful. Thank you for taking your time to subscribe to my channel. And if you are watching this video now and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button. Don't forget as well to hit the notification button so that anytime I upload interesting video like this, you'll be the first person to get the notification. So guys, what am I going to be doing today? Today I'm going to be showing us how you can use Ionic with React. So we are going to be building a very simple project. We are going to be creating a very simple project. So I'm going to be showing us how you can use Ionic with React. So what is the simple project we are going to be building? We are going to be creating a football highlight mobile application. So a football highlight, so mobile application. So we are going to be using Ionic and React to create this simple application. So the idea is that we are going to be using an API. I got a free API. So this API pick every football highlight all over the world. So either Premiership, if you're a football lover, either Premiership, Champions League, La Liga, I mean all over the world. So we are just going to be using this API to create a very simple application with React and Ionic 4. Okay, this is Ionic 5 rather. So I'm going to be using Ionic 5 with React. So that's what we are going to be doing today. So before watching this video, I want to assume that you've known, the basic of React. So it's very important you do. So so that is that. Anyway, let's get started. So let's quickly go into let me quickly show us what I'm going to be creating first before I show us how we are going to create what I'm going to show you, this particular project. So as you can see on your screen now, this is this is a football football highlight mobile application. So you can see now these are various football highlights. So these are just the top names. These are the images. So let's say, for example, I just click on any of these, image. So let me click on this. So it's going to open this particular, as you can see now, is loading. It's going to open that particular video for us. So in which we can just click play, and it's going to play the video highlights. So once I hit on this play button, as you can see now, let me hit on it, on the play button. So let me click on the play button. It's going to play the particular video for us. So I'm just going to be showing us how I come about this particular project, the functionalities. So it's taking some time because of my slow network to load the video. So but anyway, it's still going to play. So it's taking some time to load the video. Okay, so that is just the whole idea. So once I click on this play button, so it's going to play the particular video highlights for us. So just because of my slow internet, that is why it's not playing, but that is just the whole idea. As you can see, it's already loading now. See, this is the video, as you can see now. So it's going to play that particular video highlights for us. So let me go back now. Let me go back. Okay, so that is just what we are going to be creating today. So once you click on any of this top name, it's going to show the particular video made for this football highlights. So that is what we are going to be creating today. So don't forget, as I've said, I use React and Ionic 5 to create this mobile application. So now let's quickly go into for the sake of people that doesn't know what Ionic is. So let's go into Ionic documentation. So if you want to read more about Ionic, just go to this URL you are seeing on your screen, ionicframework.com/docs. So then you can just read more about it. See, Ionic is a framework. It's an open source UI toolkit for building performant, high quality mobile and desktop apps using web technologies, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, with integrations for popular frameworks like Angular. You can use it with Angular, you can use it with React, you can use it with Vue as well. So and if you want to, there are some basic things you have to do. You have to install it first on your on your machine. So let's click on this installation guide and see how you can install it. Ionic CLI, you have to do that. So let's go down. So this is what you just have to do: install the Ionic CLI. So before proceeding, make sure your computer has Node.js. You see, you must have Node.js so installed. So and once you have Node.js installed, so for the sake of those who don't know, maybe you don't know how to install Node.js, so let's just quickly come down here and click Node.js to Google. So it's going to take us to the website where Node.js website. So yeah, just click on this particular one here. So click on nodejs.org. So it's going to take us to to Node.js website, and here we can see the instructions. So what you just have to do is just that. See, I'm using Linux, so by automatically it picks my operating system. So if you are using Windows, it's going to pick your what's it called? It's going to pick your OS, any kind of OS you are using. So just download this one, recommended for most users. This Node 14.17.6. So once you click on download, so it's going to download Node.js and just install it on your machine. So that's all you have to do. So once you've done that, once you've installed Node.js in your machine, so just come here, pick this particular guy here. Just copy this npm installed -g means global Ionic Cli. So just copy this and paste this into your in your terminal and just hit the enter button. It's going to install it on your computer. So it's saying something. They say if there was a previous installation of the Ionic Cli, it will be needed to uninstall due to change in package name. So this just just keep following this procedure. It's well explained enough. So and you want to start an app, so say create an Ionic app using one of the pre-made app templates, blah 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 like that. So just come here, copy this Ionic start, paste it on your on your okay. Let me try that now. So let me copy this Ionic start here. So let me go into my terminal here, and let me come inside, open a new terminal. So okay, so let me bring this. Let me try to minimize these. Yeah, okay. So let me just go back, and let's say paste that particular thing I copied now. So Ionic starts. So it's advisable to just put the name of the folder you want to. Let's say, for example, I want to create Ionic starts, and the name of the the name of the project I want to create is, let's say, Ionic football. React football. That's the name of the folder. You click enter. So here is saying Ionic starts React. Okay, it's not going to ask us now. Please select the Java. So before you do this, make sure you've installed Ionic CLI. It's very, very important. Make sure you've done that. So once you've done that, just come use your terminal and say Ionic starts React football. This React football is just the name of your project. It's just the name of your project. So it's now asking us to pick the particular framework you want to use. So it's asking you, is it Angular, is it React, is it Vue that you want to use? So we are using React. So just click enter here. So and it's going to further ask us, okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. So okay, so it's going to ask us the starter template we want to use. Is it blank, is it list, is it side menu? So we are going to go for blank. So just hit blank. So once you hit blank, I'm going to stop this now because I've already done this here. So it's going to take a little time before it installs. So just keep following that procedures, and that's all you need to do to get started. So that's all you need to do. All right, so having done that now, so let me see if there's any other thing we have to do. You see, that's all. So once you've done that, you just have to navigate into, okay, let's go back into our terminal now. So what you just have to do is, okay, let me close this. So once you've installed it, you just have to see the the name of your particular project. See the React. We named the other one React Football the other time. So just click enter, and the next thing you have to do is just to say Ionic serve. All right. So that is all what you need to do. So that is that. So what I'm going to do now is that this particular project we want to create. This particular project, I'm going to put the starter file, the file you can start with, in my description. So I've uploaded it on GitHub, so I'm going to put the link in my description. So what you just have to do is just go down to my description and click on the start file. So once you click on the start file, so this is what you are going to see. Let me show you. So you are just going to see a simple hello world. This is what, once you click the start you know, the link that will lead you to my to GitHub to download the stats file. So just download it, and what you just have to do once you've downloaded it, just come into your terminal, you know, navigate into that particular folder you downloaded the stats file, and just type npm install. That's all you need to do. So npm install, or if you are using yarn, for example, I'm using yarn, you can just say yarn. That is all, and click enter. So it's going to download all the dependencies. So I hope you understand me now. It's going to download all the dependencies you need to run this, you know, this the stats file on your machine. So it's going to download everything inside the folder. So once you've done that, just type Ionic Serve. So let me show you. So okay, let's go back here. So once you've done that, you just have to say Ionic. All right, just say Ionic Ionic Serve. All right, that's all you need to do, and hit the enter button. So once you do that, so let me show you how it's going to be running. So I've already done that here, so that's why you are seeing it running here like this. So I've already done that. Okay, so I need to okay, so having done that, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do, and this is going to print a hello world for you. So guys, that's all you need to do to get started. So I believe you understand all what I've said earlier now. So the next thing we want to do is that let's go into our VS Code studio. So as this is the hello world we are printing out in that we are seeing the other time in my browser. This is hello world. This is the hello world here. So that's all we need to do to get started. So fine. So you should be able to see all of this in the stats file. So you'll be able to see all of this in the stats file. So the first thing we now have to do is that, don't forget I said I'm using an API. So we are going to be fetching every data in that API. So okay, let's get started now. Let's go into our app.jsx. So this is where we are going to be fetching the data from. So the first thing we have to do is that we need to import useState and useEffect. That's the first thing from our React. So for us to do that, let's just come here and let's say import. All right. So we want to import two things: useEffect. All right, and we're gonna import useState here. So we're gonna import them from React. So that's why I said you should have a basic knowledge of React. So this, if you have a basic knowledge of React, this shouldn't be new to you at all. So then the next thing we have to do is that now there are two packages we need to install. That is Axios and HTML Parser. Okay, let me really go back into my browser now and show you how to do that. So we need to install Axios. Okay, let's say Axios npm. So let me click on that. Okay, it should take us to where, okay, so let's click on this now. So because we need Axios for us to be able to fetch, we are going to be using Axios to fetch our data from the API. So let me click on this, and it's going to take us to how we can install Axios. So I just want to show you this. I've already done this already. So what you just have to do is just just come here. Okay, let me keep scrolling down. So this is how you can install. If you are using npm, just copy this and paste it in your terminal. And if you are using yarn, you can just say yarn add. So you can just copy this and copy it to your terminal. And I think I should have another one open here. Okay, so you can just come down here. Just paste what you've copied here. Alright, just paste this. So yarn add Axios, and if you are using npm, you can say npm install Axios. So that is all you need to do. So another package we need, in which I'm going to be telling us what we are going to be using it for, is React HTML Parser. React HTML Parser. Okay. So React HTML Parser. We are going to be need. So let me click on it. So we are going to need this package as well. We are going to need this package as well for this particular project. So what you just have to do is just come down here. We are using yarn on npm. Just follow the same process. Copy these guys and install them into your project. So that's all we need to do. So that's all we need to do. So let's go back into our VS Code. So now I've already installed it. I've already installed Axios and I've already installed the HTML parser. So, but what we are going to need to do here is that we need to import Axios now. So we're going to say import, okay, Axios from Axios. All right. So because this is what we are going to need to fetch our data, import Axios from Axios. All right. So now let's come down here. So we need to make use of our, we need to create a function now. So we need to create a function. So but before we create a function, we need to set our state. Let's say constant now. We need to create a state. So let's say constant, and let's name this our state to be data API. You can name it anything you want. So you can also say set, data, set data API. So you can name this particular state the way you want it. So let's say it's equals to useState. All right, it's equals to useState. Then we have an empty. We are going to set the data API to empty this data API. So, but once we fetch our data, then we have to set this data API to the data we are getting from our API. So now let's continue. So the next thing we have to do is this. Okay, let me bring this up a little. So the next thing we have to do is this. Now we have to create a function. Let's say constant. Okay, and let's call it fetch data. Okay. So we are going to be using a synchronous function here. Let's say async. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm gonna say async. Then we have our arrow function here. Don't forget we need to. Okay. We have our arrow function here. So then the next thing we have to do now is that this is where we now have to fetch our data from the this is where we need to fetch our data from the API. So we're going to say try now. So I'm going to say try, then we're going to say constant response is equals to await. Okay, don't forget we are using asynchronous function dot get. Okay, so what is our URL? That's what's our API. So the API we want to use is HTTP. I want to fetch our data from HTTP, then we put this here, then we're going to say www. I got this API online, so scorebits.com/video-API, then /v3. Okay, so this is the API v3, not bz. So v3. So this is the API. We are going to be getting all football highlights from this particular API. So sorry, I'm missing something there. There should be. We have to put Axios there because we are getting. Axios is going to be helping us to fetch the data. So this API, okay, should be www. Okay, so this API is we are going to be getting every football highlights from this particular API. So this is the API that we are going to be using to fetch our data from. So alright, so the next thing we have to do now is that the first thing is that let's console log response, so that we are going to know if we are really fetching our data. Console.log. So let's say this is response or something, this is data, so that's going to know where this console log is coming from. So let's console log our response. So let's see if we are getting our data. So the next thing we have to do is that let's say catch, in case if there's an error. So catch error. Alright, and let's console log the error if at all there is an error. So we're going to say console.log error. Alright, so that's all we need to do. Now we have to use our useEffect here. So this is where we are going to use our useEffect, so that we are going to call this particular function in our useEffect. So now let's come down here and say useEffect. Alright. So okay, this shouldn't be new to you as well if you have been using React very well. So then we have to pass our empty. We have to pass an empty array here. So this empty array will stop it will stop our, without this empty array here, this empty dependencies here, our useEffect is going to be calling the API multiple times. So, but with this, it's going to help us to it's going to help us to fetch the data once instead of calling it multiple times, which can break our application. So once you pass this, it's going to stop the useEffect to call it once. So all right. So the next thing we have to do now is that let's call this particular fetch data. All right. Let's call this particular fetch data here. So don't forget that is a function. So let's call it a. So then that's all we need to do to call the fetch data here. So let's save, and then let's go into our browser and see what we've done. So here is it. Yeah. So we're already at console log. So by default it should reload. Once you save, it should reload. But okay, let's try and refresh this ourselves. But normally it should reload for us. Okay. So if everything works well, we should get a response. The console.log that the data we are trying to get from our API, we should be able to get the response here. All right, as you can see, this is data. We are getting our data very correctly. So we are getting the status 200. So this is the data we need. So as you can see now, we have in this particular array, there are, okay, this is data. You can see now, this is every data we are getting from the API. So these are all data. So this is, Bayern highlights Bundesliga. So this is, which particular league is this? I think it's Mexico League or something. So this is Championship, England's Championship, West Brom Albion versus QPR. A lot of data, a lot of football highlights is coming from this API. So we are able to get our data from the API now successfully. So at that level, everything is working fine. So, okay, let's go back into our code. So the next thing we want to do now is that we want to, be able to make use of our state here. So at this level, once we are able to get our data, so we are going to set the data, to this state here. Okay, so now let's continue now. Okay, let's just come down here and say set data API. All right. So the data we are getting should be response. All right, let's give a condition there in case if it's still all defined. So let's say response.data. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to check, if there is response. So instead of our application if there is no response rather yet, instead of our application should break, so this check is going to help us to check that. So it's going to delay it till when there will be data. So instead of it to break our code. So then we're gonna say response.data.response. All right. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to set the data we are getting from this what's it called now? From this API, we are setting the data here. So that's all we need to do. So once we are able to do that, now the next thing we want to do is that when we want to display our data, the data we are getting from the API is inside this tab1 component. So that is where we want to display our data. We are not displaying data inside this app.js, but we are displaying inside this tab1 component. So what are we going to do? It's very simple. Let's just pass the data we are getting as a props into this tab1. So it's just very simple. Let's just say data, okay, API is equals to, don't forget this initial state, the first state is this guy here, this data API. So let's just grab this particular guy here, let's copy it, and let's come inside this tab1 API. I'm sorry, this tab1 components rather. So we are just going to paste this as a props here, as you can see. So we are sending this data we are getting here as a props into this tab1. So the next thing we have to do is that we will not have to go into this tab1. That is where we are going to map out every information we need. Did you get that now? So inside this tab1 API is where we're going to map it out. So let me save this guy here. So now let's go inside tab1 components here. This is it, tab1. So let me click on it now. So as you can see, it's inside this tab1 we are displaying our hello world. So it's inside this table that we are displaying is our hello world. So all these things, all these what can I call it now? All these component now is Ionic components. As you can see, I'm importing them. Ionic content, Ionic header, Ionic image, Ionic page. All these guys here, I imported them from, let me show you where they are coming from. I imported them from Ionic React. So they are all components on their own. So you have to do this as well. So you have to, anytime you want to make use of any Ionic components, what you just have to do first is that you have to, import those components from Ionic, from React Ionic. It's very, very important to do that. All right, so what is the next thing we have to do is that we have to receive our props here. The props we pass from our app.js down to this tab1 component. So the next thing we have to do is that we have to receive that props here. All right, so how we're going to do that? Let's just do a destructuring here. So we're going to say data, okay, data API. So the reason why we are doing this is that instead of us to be saying props, instead of us to be saying props.data.api all the time. So what I'm just trying to do is I'm just trying to destructure it here, get it a data API. So that's what I'm trying to do, so that anytime we are going to be making use of data API, we will not need to be using props there any longer. All right, so the next thing we have to do now is that we have to map out these informations we are getting. So now let's do that now. So we have to come down here inside this our Ionic card here. So we are going to be mapping out every of the details we need in this particular component. So the first we have to do is that, okay, let's open let's use this square bracket, because anytime you want to write a JavaScript inside JSX, this is JSX now. So you have to use this coil bracket. So then we are going to say that data, let's say data, okay, let's say data now, API, don't forget we want to map out some details out, dot map, all right, so dot map, okay. So what are the things we want to map out? So the first thing, as I show you before I start this tutorial, the first thing we are showing are the thumbnails, the images. So let me go back to this particular code. Yeah, so let me open this object here. Come on, okay, let me open this object here. So the first thing we want to display is this image, this thumbnail here. Because if we don't do that, if we are displaying the video in this first page, it's going to slow down our application. It's going to be loading over 90 videos at once, which is going to slow down our application. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to first display the images of each of these football highlights we are seeing here. So once you click on that particular video image as I've shown you earlier, so it's going to show you the specific video meant for that image. So that's what we want to do now. So we want to get this thumbnail first. Thumbnail for all of these information, all of these data we are getting here. So that's what we want to map out first. All right. So we are going to say details. Let's call it image. Anyway, so let's call it images. Then let's have our I here. So then we have this error function. Then we have to return something here. All right. So then the next thing we have to do now is that I'm going to copy this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this hello world here. I'm going to copy this guy here because that's where we want to display it. This Ionic card. Oh, okay. Let me undo it and copy it from here and paste it inside our map function. So let me call that and bring this guy here. So let me try to make it a little bit more neater. Okay, so that's all. Now we want to map out this information inside this Ion card here. So that's what we need to do. So how are we going to do that? Don't forget we are using an image here to display our data. So inside this Ion card content, so we are going to have Ion image. Okay, we're going to have Ion image. So it is inside this Ion image we'll be displaying every items that we map out. So let's have a key here before React starts complaining. So let's have a key here. Okay, so the key we are going to be setting it is this I here. So the next thing we have to do is that is inside this image, we are going to be mapping out all our data. So now the next thing we're going to do is you're going to say source is equals to, so what's the source? We're going to be saying the source is going to be detail. It's going to be image, rather images dot top name. Don't forget top name. We are getting. I hope you know where we are getting this top name for. So from this is it here. This because this is what we need here. This particular we need this particular thumbnail here. So that is what we are trying to grab in code here. All right. So images dot top name. So we say data dot map images, and that's all we need to do. We are mapping out all the thumbnails. So let me save now and let's see if we are going to get a result. So let me clear this out. Yeah. So let's see if we are going to get a result. It's reloading here itself. Okay. So let's see if we are going to get any result out of here. All right. As you can see now, our image is displaying already. As you can see, our images, they are all displaying because we are mapping them out. So as you can see, it's displaying slowly now. So we are mapping all those thumbnails out, and we are displaying them inside this component. So let me try to reload this page. Let me try to reload it ourselves here. So for us to see how it works better. All right. See, after reloading the page, as you can see, that was why I intentionally reloaded the page. So now, after reloading the page, as you can see, we are getting an error here in our console. It's saying data API is undefined. And I'm going to tell you the reason why it's saying it's undefined. Because at first, as you can see, data API is undefined. At first, we are trying to fetch a data from our API. And this data API is a state, is an empty state. So by default, it's undefined. Because we are not, let's go back into the code. So let's go into this app.js. So this data API, by default, is undefined, is none. So when we are trying to fetch our data at first, it's still going to show undefined. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So not until it's finished, that particular page finished reloaded, and we get our data, that is where we are now setting the data to it. So at first, it's going to be undefined. So how are we going to solve this? It's very simple. The solution to this saying data is undefined is very simple. So now let's go back into where we are mapping out our data. All right. So here, what we are just going to do is that we are just going to use an itinerary operator to give a condition to say that if data is undefined, we are setting it to an empty. It's to use an empty array. So let's try that now. Let's say if data, okay, data API is equals to undefined. It's equals to undefined. So we are using it to map through an empty array. Else it should use data API.map. I hope you understand the logic I'm trying to do here. If I'm trying to say that if data API is equals to undefined, use this empty array here. Else use data API. That is, if there is an information already, let us use this data API. But if there is no information yet, use this empty array. So that is just the simple logic I'm trying to do here. All right. So the next thing we want to do now is that let's save this and go back into our browser, and we are going to see that this error will not be having this error again. Even if I thought you reload this particular page, we will not be seeing the error. You see, the error is gone. Let me clear out. Let me clear out my console here to make it neat and see the information we are getting. As you can see now, we are getting our images without any error again. So even after we have reloaded, we will not get that error of data saying data is undefined. Fine. So we've been able to successfully display our images, our thumbnail for each of the videos. As you can see, we have a lot of them. Okay, I'm trying to scroll down now. I think it's still trying to reload some of those. It's still trying to get some of those data. As you can see, we are getting a lot of images here. There are over 90. You see, it's still trying to reload here. It's still trying to reload here. So we are having a lot of data there. So just imagine if to say we want to load the video at once, it will be very, very slow. It's going to be very, very slow. But that's why I come up with this idea that, okay, at first, let's load the images. Then after we load the images, then once we click on this guy here, we want to show the specific video for this image here. Alright, so the next thing we want to do now, having achieved this, is that we want to create a function that anytime we click on that image, we want to show the details of that particular image, that is the particular video highlight meant for that particular image. So once we click, the next one to do is I want to click on this guy here. Let's say we click on this image here, we want to show the video meant for it alone. Once we click on this image here, we want to show the video meant for it alone. So how are we going to do that? It's a very simple function we are going to write. So now let's add onClick function in onClick to this particular image. So let's say onClick now. We're gonna say onClick. So let's say onClick. Then we have this arrow function here. So let's call this function show video. Show video. All right. So we are going to be passing images here. Okay. I'm going to pass in these images here. I hope you know where this image is coming from. This image here. So this image here is what we are trying to pass here. So anytime they click on this image, you want to get a single detail is meant for that image. Okay. So now let's come here and quickly create. Excuse me. So let's quickly create the function for it. Let's say constant show video. Okay, show video is equals to then. Don't forget we have to pass our images here as parameter now. So then we have our arrow function. So let's do something now. Let's console log images first and let's see what is going to happen. Okay, let's say console.log images. So let's let's put a string here and say this is video or something. Okay, so this is video and let's put a comma here. So let's save now. All right, so let me save and let's go back into our browser. Okay, let me clear this out. So let me click on this particular image now. Let's see what's going to happen. Let me click on it. So as you can see, we get the details that is meant for this image alone. So let me open this particular object here. As you can see, we have the competition German competition Bundesliga. So as you can see now, this is Bayern Munich. So if you can see, this is the Bayern Munich player here. This is Lewandowski here, Bayern Munich player. So versus this particular team here, what's the name? Guaratan Fort or something. So that is the particular details. So this is the video. So don't forget, this is the video we need. This particular video highlights. This is what we need here. This embedded video highlight. This is what we need, and we are getting the information now. So now let me come down here again and click on this particular image here. You can see we are getting this is the title here. This particular details is meant for this particular image alone. So now the next thing we want to do is that we want to save the video into our local storage. So once we save the video in our local storage, then we are going to get the details in our, because we are going to create a new component where we are going to be showing the video now. So we will save this particular guy into our local storage, and then we are going to get the what's it called now? We are going to get the particular item we saved in our local storage and display it in the next component. So let's quickly create a new component here. So let's create a new file here. So let's call the components. Okay, let's call the components. Okay, just wait. Okay, let's come down inside the components folder, new. So let's call it the components show video or video details or something. Let's just say video detail. Okay, video detail.jsx. All right. So that's all what we need to do. We've created a new component here now. So let's quickly create some basic function. Let's say constant now. Constant video, okay, detail. Video detail is equals to, then we have our arrow function here. So, and okay, sorry, this should be an arrow function. Okay, so then we need to export video so that we can be able to access it in our other components. So let's say export defaults video, video detail. All right, so video detail. So here now, okay, let me come down here. So let's return something so that we will not get error. Let's return let's say h1 here. All right, and let's come and let's say hello video or something. Just put something there. So hello video. So we are returning something there now. So let me save. Then the next thing we have to do is that let's go into our app.js and create a route so that will lead us to this video detail component. So now the first we have to do is that let's import this video component. So let's say import video detail from, okay, from, we have to just look out once and say components, all right, slash video, that'll be video detail slash video details. Okay, so that's all we need to do. So let's just come down here and create, we need to create a route for it. So let me just copy this. Let me copy these guys here. Let me copy these. And paste this here. Okay. So the next thing we have to do is that, okay, we have to create a route for this guy here. So let's say video. So that's the name of the route. So what is the when we get to this route, which component do you want to display? We want to display the video detail. I want to display the video detail component. So let's come down here and say video detail. All right, so that's all we need to do here. So anytime we visit this route, so this component should be the one to display. So don't forget, we still need to pass this do we need to pass data API as a props there? Do we need it? No, I don't think so, because what we'll be getting from this guy, what we'll be getting from this video detail component is what we save in our local storage. So I don't think we need it. We don't need it. So all right. So let's go back into our tab 1 here. So and let's save the particular thing we need into our local storage. So now how do we do that? So let's come down here and say that local storage now. Local storage. Okay. Local storage, then .set item. I think you should be familiar with this, how to save to your local storage. .set item. So what is going to be the key? So the key is going to, let's name the key video. All right. So and what do we want to save? The value. What is the value now? The value is going to be images. All right. Dots. Don't forget, we want to save the video. So dots video. Let me see. Is it videos or video? Let me come down here and check that out. Okay, it's videos. So videos, don't forget this 0 here, we need to pass it as well. So let's say videos, then we have 0 dots embedded. Okay, dots embedded. So this is what we want to save into our local storage. So let me save this and let's see if it's going to save in our local storage. All right, so let me come here and save. This is what we've done here. Let's come here as well inside our tab and save as well. So let's go inside our browser now. So let me clear my local storage. Let me clear my console. So now let me click on any of this image and let's see if we are going to get any data inside our local storage. So okay, let me go here and click storage So let me come down into local storage. As of now, no data present for selected host. For now, there is no data in our local storage. So let me click on this first image here and let's see what is going to happen. So I'm getting images.video is undefined. Oh, it should be videos. Did I make that mistake? It should be videos. Yeah, and I checked it before I typed. Sorry for that. It should be videos. So that's why we are getting that's undefined. Okay, so Let me clear this. Okay, let me clear this now. So let me click on this guy again and let's see what is going to happen. So as you can see, initially we have no data inside our local storage. Now we're having a data here. So this is what we need. The particular video, this iframe is what we need that will display our video, and it's already saving in our local storage. This is the key video and this is the value. So what we just have to do now is that we have to redirect. Once it's saved in our local storage, then we want to redirect into our video detail component. So now, how are we going to do that? So we are just going to use the use history in the React DOM to do that. So let's click to import that. Import. Then we're gonna say that import use history. Use history. All right. So where is this coming from? It's coming from React router DOM. So from React. Okay, React router DOM. Okay, React router DOM. Oh, come on, router DOM. So this is where it's coming from. So now what we now have to do is that we now have to say that let history is equals to let history is equals to, come on, it's equals to use history. It's equals to use history. So then we have this here. They say let history is equals to use history. So it is this history you are going to use to push to the next to this router here. So all right. After we might have sent to our local storage, the next thing we have to do is that let's come down here and let's say that history now. Let us say history dot push. Then where do we want to push to? We want to push to video. Don't forget that's the what we name our route the other time, video. So once it's saved in our local storage, then we want to push this we want to push to this route here, video. So let me save now. Let's go back into our browser here. So let me clear this out. So then I'm going to click on this here now. Let's see what is going to happen now. So let me click on it. So as you can see, we are redirected to video. All right. So once you click on this particular image, so it should redirect us. You see, the route has changed. So it should redirect us to this particular video route here. So let's wait for it to redirect us. So as you can see, the route has changed to /video. So because that is where we are trying to to push to. Immediately we'll save to our local storage. You see, immediately we save to our local storage. Then we want to push to this particular route here. So when it's still loading, so the next thing we have to do now is that let's go into our video details here. So inside this our video details here, we need to get the item. So we need to get the particular item we are saving in our local storage and display it here. So this is where we need to do that. So now the next we have to do is that let me quickly come out here and instead of us, for the sake of time, let me just copy all these imports here because we are going to need it as well inside our video details. So let me copy this and come down here and paste this here. So having pasted that, so we have to come down here as well. Let me copy all of these things because we need all this ion page and the likes. Okay, so we need them. So let me from this ion page, let me copy all of this here and paste this guy here. Let me remove this hello video we are showing. So this ion page, so we need to, I'm going to remove all this map because we don't need it. We are not mapping anything out. So let me quickly remove this. We don't need the image as well. We don't need the image because we want to display a video. So we don't need this key as well. Okay, so we don't need this as well. So now let me come up here. Now we need to import useEffect because we want to make use of the useEffect. Immediately we are landing on that page. We want to get all those things we are saving in our local storage and display them here. You see, it's showing a hello video here. So now once we land on this hello video page, this video detail page, We want to get every item we save in our local storage. So all right, so let's continue. Now let's come down here and quickly say use effects. All right, let's say use effects. Yeah, so we're gonna say use effects. Then we have a coil. We have open bracket there. Then we have our arrow function. So don't forget we need to pass dependencies here. All right, so let's import use effect from React too. So let's say use effects. All right, so then the next thing we have to do now is that we need to get those items from our local storage. So let's say constant. All right, constant show video. Constant show video. Then it's equals to local storage. Local storage. Dot get item. Now we want, the other time we are setting item, or this time we want to get item. So what the item wants to get is the key we want to get. Once we get the key, we'll be able to get the value. So video. So this is the key we want to get, the video that will save in our local storage. Okay, so then I will now going to display it. Now we need to use a state as well. So it is this state we are going to use to display it. So we are going to set the item we are getting in our local storage. We set it in a state, then we'll display the state inside our Ion card content here. So let me quickly import useState from React. useState, okay, from React. So and then let me come down here. So let's say constants, okay. Then we say let's name it. What are we going to name it? Video. Okay, let's say video. Then let's say set video. Okay, set video is equals to useState. useState. Okay, it should be equals to useState. I missed that. Okay, useState. Then right from here, we want to set. I'm gonna say that set video. I'm gonna say set video to show video. Don't forget that we are getting this show video from our local storage. So we're gonna say show video. So now the next thing we want to do now is that since we are setting the item we are getting from our local storage into this show video, so we want to display the item, we want to display the state rather inside our Ion card content. So but don't forget what we are getting here is an HTML. I guess it's having a div style width and the likes. So it's an HTML. So we need the React HTML parser to convert it, because if we are just displaying it, okay, let me show you. Let me show you something. So let me just come down here and say I want to display show video. Okay, let me have this called brackets and say video. Don't forget it's this state that I'm going to show you, because I'm already setting the state here. This set video, I'm setting it here. Then I'm displaying this video here. So now let me save. All right. So and let's see what is going to happen here. Let's see what is going to happen here. So as you can see now, what we are just displaying here is the raw HTML. You see, we have a div style, iframe. It is the raw HTML. So we need to convert these guys here to something that is going to display. We need an HTML parser that will help us to pass it to details that we want, to the video that we really want to display here. So that's why we need the React HTML parser. So now let's quickly import the the parser from React HTML parser. Let's import pass. Okay, it's going to be pass. From HTML. Then we have dash React. Okay, then dash parser. All right. Okay. So and how we're going to make use of this. So let's come inside this. Let's remove this video here. So I'm going to say pass. Okay. So pass. What do we want to pass? Is a video. This is what we want to pass. We want to pass this video. So now let's. Okay. Let me save now. Now let's go back to this browser here. Now let's see what is going to happen if we will be able to show. If that is going to help us to pass the value here. So okay, let me reload. So that's it's going to quickly pick that up. Okay, let me reload. Let me see. We pass video. Then we are setting the video here. All right. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. So let me quickly remove some of the things I don't need here, just to make our application more light. Okay, I don't need this Ion image. Okay. So while that is still loading, I don't need this ion card, header, ion card, all those things we did not need here. So I don't need the button. Okay, I don't need the title. Okay, let me remove this as well. Okay. So what is I don't need here again? I don't need the ion item. I don't need the ion button. Let me remove that here. So just try as much as you can to make your application light as possible. Any SS code you don't need, just remove them. Okay, let's go back here. So we are getting an error saying first arguments must be a string. Now the reason why we are getting this error is because at first, let's go back to our code. At first, if you console log video is going to be undefined, and this parser cannot pass any value that is undefined. So there is just a little things we just have to do to solve this. So let's say, or let's put the or here, or if there is no video, let's just make use of this empty string here. So if there is no video, when it's checked this video and it's not available, it's going to move here. So once the video is available, it's going to pick the video. So alright, so let me save that. So that's all we need to do to solve that problem here. So let's go back into our browser now. Should be able to get our video to display, and that error should disappear. As you can see, the error is gone. The error is gone as our video is already loading now. The video that is supposed to show for that particular image we clicked the other time. Don't forget, we are getting this from our local storage, and once we are getting from our local storage, we are saving this guy here and we are displaying it here. All right, so let me go back to the tab 1 here. Let's say tab 1. All right, let's go back to the tab 1 here. Okay, and then I'm trying to reload. Our video is loading now. So I mean, our images are loading. So I want to show us how these things work properly now. So our images is trying to reload. I'm so sorry. My network is a little bit slow, and that's why we are getting these things very slow. Anyway, it has loaded now some of the images. So if you click on any of these images, it should take you to the video. Okay, still trying to load. So let me click on this particular one here. So I've clicked on it. So as you can see, it takes us to the video here. As you can see now, it's changed the route and it's trying to display the image. You know, we click that image and it's trying to display the video, the details, the video meant for that particular image. So this is the card here. It's trying to load. So if you really want to make your own beautiful, you can even add what's it called, a loader here, maybe a skeleton loader or something. So instead of having a white space, at least that will give a better user experience. So instead of your users wondering what is happening, is the video not showing, or you know, in case the app is slowness work, just like mine now. So you can just show a skeleton loader or maybe a loader, something just rolling here, pending the time when the video is going to show. You know, since we are getting the details from you know, our API, so you can just, you know, do something like that here. So as you can see now, our video is showing here. So guys, that's all what we need to do to work. These are just little tips you need anytime you are using Ionic with React. So it's just very simple. It's very, very simple. Just as simple when you are using Bootstrap, or you are using which other frameworks with React. So it's just same method too that you really need to apply it. So anytime you make use of all these components, just remember that you must import those components here and just use your basic React experience you have, and that's all what you need to do. So guys, I'm getting to the end of this video. So I believe you've learned something today. So I've been able to explain to you how you can fetch data from your API. I've been able to explain to you how you can save to your local storage, how you can pass props in React. I mean, those little things have been how you can make use of useEffect. How you can make use of state as well. So, and we've been able to create a video highlights application successfully. So please, if you're having any question or you want to make any kind of inquiries, just don't forget to drop your question to the comment section, and I'm going to drop the source code as well to the comment section for this full project. So if you really want to follow along, you can just go there and download the source code and watch my video and see how I come about this project. So if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button as a payback to this video, because I know you've learned something today. Just don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So if there's any particular projects you really want me to work on React and Ionic, or if you want me to explain how you can use Angular as well with Ionic, just drop your just drop a comment into the comment section, and I'm going to work on that particular project. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch. See your friends, your brother Steven. Thank you. See you in my next video.